are going better than they ever have? Do you want a better Kentucky? Do you want a better opportunity for your children and your children's children?
Are we ready to fight for teachers? We ready to fight for health care? We ready to fight for working families? Are you ready to beat Matt Bevin?
How badly do you want it? That's the question. How badly do you want it?
Made over 38 stops, and out there we see a hunger for change.
Welcome into your election night headquarters, and it is the Bluegrass Showdown.
That's right, Steve, and no matter how you look at it, tonight will make history in Kentucky politics. Incumbent Governor Matt Bevin faces tough opposition in Democratic challenger Andy Beshear.
At the end of the night, Governor Bevin could become the first Republican to win consecutive terms as governor.
And while Steve and Andy Beshear could become the first father and son to hold the state's highest office, to begin our coverage, WYMT's Will Puckett is with the Bevin camp at the Galt House in Louisville. Will?
Steve and Neil, just a short time ago, we heard from Senator and Lieutenant Governor candidate Ralph Alvarado. He is the new running mate for the governor this time around. He told us he and the rest of the Republican ticket is feeling confident that what they have put forward is what the people of Kentucky care most about. He said while he hopes that they do win tonight, the nerves come from the want and need to make those who put their faith in them proud.
We feel, like I said, for me, it's always anxiety, and I'll tell you, the anxiety isn't so much about losing. A lot of people put a lot of investment into these campaigns. People donate a lot of funds, a lot of volunteers. It's like being a running back, being handed the ball. You want to score for the team, not so much for yourself. And so that's where the anxiety comes in, is you just want to make sure that all the effort that you put in has the result that you want for those that have put faith in you.
Steve and Neil, there is a lot of confidence here tonight. Senator Ralph Alvarado has been preaching on the 57,000 jobs created the past 4 years under Governor Matt Bevin. They hope that along with a couple of other things, especially pairing with President Trump in national politics, is what is going to boost them to the finish line here tonight. We're under less than 30 minutes now away from polls in Western Kentucky closing. We're going to start finding out soon if Kentuckians do care about the platform the Republicans have put forward. Steve and Neil.
All right, Will, thank you very much. Now, both candidates need to fare better here in Eastern Kentucky than they did in the primary. We'll touch more on that shortly.
But early on, it sounds like Beshear's base really did turn out in the urban areas. WYMT's Connor James is also in Louisville with the Beshear camp. What are you hearing there, Connor?
No idea right now what they're going to do.
Yeah, Steve and Neil, Beshear's campaign telling me they're pretty confident that they have the momentum going into tonight to be able to pull this off. Beshear spent his Monday touring Western Kentucky, and over the weekend he spent it in the eastern area of the state. Beshear and his campaign say they have both Republicans and Democrats supporting him in those rural areas, and that could spell bad news for Governor Matt Bevin. Bevin also spent his weekend in Eastern Kentucky, but Monday was a bit of a different story. He was in Lexington with President Trump. Here's what the Beshear campaign had to say about that.
Well, Matt Bevin's going to try to hide behind President Trump and what's happening in Washington, D.C., because he has a failed record of trying to bully teachers, tear down public education, tear down rural hospitals. So, we are crisscrossing the state, and we're actually listening to people and listening to their concerns, which is something that has been missing from Frankfort for the last 4 years.
Now, Steve and Neil, you have to wonder, obviously President Trump coming out was a boost for Matt Bevin, but did that also give a boost to Andy Beshear? Did that draw out more of those Democratic voters in those urban areas? We'll have to find out here shortly. Back to you guys.
All right, Connor, thank you. Now, Neil, a big difference this year as opposed to years past. Both candidates really put a heavy focus on Eastern Kentucky.
Steve, they really did. Many believe the path to victory lies here in Eastern Kentucky, and how well Andy Beshear finishes the night in Jefferson and in Fayette County.
So if Beshear does better than expected here in the rural areas, that could spell some trouble for Governor Bevin.
Right. Now let's dig deeper into the primary numbers. Governor Bevin faced strong opposition here in the East in May. State Representative Robert Goforth carried much of eastern and southern Kentucky. You can see Goforth there shaded in yellow. Now take a look at Andy Beshear's primary map. House Minority Leader Rocky Adkins carried pretty much all of eastern Kentucky. Now, Beshear won the primary by a strong showing in Lexington, Louisville, and Western Kentucky. The key tonight, Beshear must find a way to rally early here in the mountains. Then he needs to do better than Jack Conway did in 2015 when Bevin's challenger 4 years ago tallied about 58% of the Louisville metro vote and 55% of Fayette County.
Well, voter turnout for the Big Sandy region surprised some in the area. We made calls to several counties, and precinct workers say they are pleased to see a steady stream of people filing in. Floyd County Clerk Chris Wall says he believes the weight this election carries may be the cause for a higher turnout.
I think so, and I hope so. We're talking about our state leaders, and I would sure hope that we would get out and cast our vote for the leader we feel is the best for our state.
People we talk with say this election has run smoothly with few issues across the region.
Now, you can report any violations of Kentucky's election laws to the Attorney General's hotline. That number to call is 800-328-VOTE. or 800-328-8683. You can also call during regular business hours or until 7 o'clock tonight. Investigators from the Attorney General's office were across the state today so they could immediately respond to complaints.
Another contentious race to keep a close eye on tonight, the battle for Attorney General. That race pits a well-known name in Kentucky politics, Floyd County native Greg Stumbo, against Republican newcomer Daniel Cameron. Earlier today, we heard from both Stumbo and Cameron. WIMT's Emily Bennett joins us now with some background on that race. Emily.
Steve, Floyd County's Greg Stumbo is looking to take back the seat he held from 2004 to 2008. But many along the campaign trail believe Daniel Cameron could run away with the race. Throughout the campaign, Cameron argued Stumbo abandoned his office in 2008 when he ran for lieutenant governor alongside Bruce Lunsford, a race that ticket lost in the primary. The attack ads often became personal, and both believe they ran strong enough campaigns to take the office.
It's really heartwarming and encouraging when folks, regardless of political affiliation, walk up to you and express support for the idea that you put yourself out there and made a decision to put your name on a ballot.
I think people recognize the Attorney General's office is a little bit different. It's like hiring an attorney. You don't want someone who's never been to court if you've got a case to take there. You want somebody who's been there, who's been through the courtrooms, through the civil process, the criminal process.
Stephen Neal, this race, along with the governor's race, could be a telltale sign as to the direction of policy in the Bluegrass.
All right, we'll certainly be keeping a close eye on that race tonight. Emily, thank you. Now, Neil, another Floyd County is actually looking to keep her seat tonight.
That's right. The race for state treasurer features Republican incumbent Allison Ball and Democratic challenger Michael Bowman. Ball defeated now Middlesboro Mayor Rick Nelson by nearly 200 votes 4 years ago, tallying more than 60% of the vote. If Ball wins, this will be her final four-year term as treasurer.
A tough decision today for voters in the city of Inez. Their votes will decide whether to dissolve the city government. For a preview of what to expect, we have WIMT's Marianne Fletcher in Martin County as she follows those results.
Tuesday's election could spell the end of the city of Inez.
Well, I'd feel sad about it, especially for the people, that lives in Inez.
City Commissioner Dennis Hall says the work the street department does is often overlooked.
We've talked to some of the county officials, and they said that they couldn't afford to do what we do, so I believe they would lose a lot of services.
Officials say those services include street cleaning, snow plowing, and garbage pickup.
A lot of them, they don't see it, but, if they get out and walk in our shoes and things, they see what we do.
Booney Fletcher Jr. says he is worried about the fate of the city.
And everybody I've talked to says it's a bad decision to change it.
While losing jobs is the last thing he says this city needs.
It's not going to help nothing. It's going to hurt the worst, and it's going to take more jobs away. And that's what we need for this county.
Hoping to keep the city running. In Martin County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, an interesting side note, in 2016, a similar petition was talked about here in Perry County for the city of Vico. However, before the November election, a judge ruled a state statute prevented voters from answering the question.
Another question on ballots in Kentucky tonight will settle a hotly debated topic in a Pike County community. Are you in favor of the sale of alcoholic beverages in Elkhorn City? After months of campaign signs and forums, the city has now taken its yes or no vote to the polling places. Mayor Mike Taylor says the topic has been one of the city's biggest issues in recent days, and he is ready to see the final results tonight.
Well, I think we've had a great turnout today. I think it's one of the best turnouts we've had in the city. And I'm glad of that for one reason, that they, to get out to vote to. It's their choice. So, and we'll see tonight after 6 o'clock what choice they've made.
Taylor says he believes the no vote will win, but the city will deal with it. If the city goes wet, we will have those results and reaction later tonight.
It's a pretty nice day here in the mountains. The sun already setting. Yes, none of us are used to it quite yet, but we are seeing a pretty dark camera as we look into Whitesburg, but you can see downtown a few of those clouds, and we'll hang on to a few of those tonight, but most of those look to clear out tonight. A weak front moved through our area earlier today. Didn't bring us a lot of rain, but did bring us some of that cloud cover, as you can see on satellite and radar. So temperatures cold as you're looking up into Moorhead, where they've seen a little bit more of that cloud cover, even those lower 50s, Prestonsburg, Jackson, even down into London. Still a little bit warmer down into Harlan, Bell County. You're seeing about those mid to upper 50s. Most of us dropping into about the mid 30s tonight. Mostly clear. Could see a little bit of that patchy fog late tonight. Early into tomorrow, rain chances do increase as we head into Thursday, a little bit into your Friday as well. We'll be tracking a cold front that'll move in Thursday into Friday, coming up in just a little bit.
Thank you, Paige. The Floyd County Sheriff's Department received a life-saving gift today.
AMR Lifeguard Ambulance Service is supplying AED defibrillators to each police cruiser. Officials with the American Heart Association say early heart defibrillation saves lives. Sheriff John Hunt says many times as they are called out, an ambulance will also be dispatched.
We're waiting for an ambulance, so while we're there waiting on that ambulance to respond, why not be able to do something as opposed to just sit there with your hands in your pocket waiting on an ambulance to come?
Deputies are already trained to use the AEDs. Sheriff Hunt also announced today he will offer a pay incentive for all deputies who are trained EMTs. Lifeguard will offer those classes at no cost to the deputies.
Officials in Floyd County opened a death investigation Monday night. The sheriff says they found a man unconscious on the sidewalk outside the Jenny Wiley State Park Lodge. The man, who was a guest at the lodge, was taken to the hospital where he later died. His name has not been released. Police say there will be an autopsy to determine the exact cause of death.
Another potential blow to the coal industry. Yesterday, a company filed a warn notice for 170 miners in eastern Kentucky. The layoff will impact people in Laurel, Leslie, Harlan, and Bell counties. Nally and Hamilton expects those layoffs to begin on or around the first of the year. In the warn notice, company officials did not specify how long the layoffs might last or what positions it would impact.
And enjoy tomorrow while you can, because we will be tracking another cold front moving in Thursday into your Friday, bringing rain and cold temperatures back to the mountains. I'll have those details coming up in just a little bit.
And you are never too old to vote. Coming up, a 103-year-old man talks about the importance of exercising our right to cast a ballot.